Okay, so this next segment is about when you suspect you're pregnant, you may experience some signs or early signs which are caused by hormonal changes that begin almost like immediately after conception. So you may notice things like breast changes, fullness, tenderness, tingling in the nipple area, and a darkened areola, a missed menstrual period, which means that your uterus, the lining of your womb, isn't shedding because it actually is home to something. Fullness, bloating, or aches in your lower abdominal, fatigue, drowsiness a little bit. You may even experience like feeling lightheaded or faint. Sometimes you'll experience nausea or vomiting at any time of the day, followed with frequent urination and also increased vaginal secretions. So these are some of the things you may see as signs that you are pregnant. When it comes to calculating due date, which is something that you can do on your own, the average gestation time, so this gestation is synonymous with pregnancy. So the average gestation time is 280 days, okay? So this also is equivalent to 40 weeks after the first day of your last menstrual period. So the first day of your last, so whenever you had your last period, that would be day one. Then you would count forward 40 weeks or 280 days. Okay. It says, although conceptions occur between 12 to 24 hours of ovulation, it's difficult to know exactly when it will occur. For many women, ovulation happens about 2 weeks after the first day of their last period, but it can occur earlier or later in the cycle. So even if you know the day of your last period, so if you count halfway would be, let's say if you mince half of 28 days is 14. So you go to day start to 14 is when you were ovulating from that last cycle. And then even you can count then 100 and 280 days, which would give you a ballpark. So here's an example for the reasons caregivers calculate the due date. Here's a formula. So subtract 3 months from the date of the first day of your last pregnancy. Subtract 3 months from the day of the first day of your last period, okay? Then add 7 days, which is from 7 to 4, that makes it to 14. For example, let's say the first day of your last period was February 1st, subtracting 3 months, that leads to November 1st, and adding 7 days, will give you a due date of November 7th. I like that. It's actually going backwards versus forward. So the first day of your last period, go back 3 months, then add 7 days. That's cool. Okay, so again, due dates are just general frameworks for you to follow because you really don't know when your baby will come. And the idea of not committing to a date will allow your seed the opportunity to grow and develop at the pay and race that it needs to, versus you wrapping your head around this date and building your life off this date. Okay, so I think that's something to consider, is that it's just a time frame, an awareness of knowing like, okay, where am I at in this process? How many days has it been? Not necessarily for you to control when it's going to, like, to control it coming, your child. Okay. While we could get into the trimesters, I don't want to go there. I actually want to go to, I believe it's chapter 5, which is feeling good and staying fit.